Welcome to my channel, it's good to have you here. My name is Gemma, I'm a criminologist and advanced courtist, and I'm speaking as a gematria. And the reason why I'm doing this is because if I don't, explain it to the world the way I understand this, none of you will understand me or the situations that are happening around everything, okay, around the world, right? So the reason why I do this, make this content, isn't so that you can manipulate me through it, right? So if you've done that, there's going to be consequences, right? I'm going to make sure, right, that there's going to be like a consequence for the AI infiltrators, right? So this is why I'm doing this, essentially, and we're bringing it out. And it's not just me. People do it in a creative way, people use it in bad ways, people use it in good ways. So AI creators. So we are creators because we're on YouTube, for example. So straight away, we're AI creators, we're pirates, okay? In a way where we are trying to save, okay, an aspect of humanity. Yeah, this is why people do this, why people create, why people speak, why people are this, that and the other. And it's because it creates a space where we can all come together with an understanding of what's actually going on and how an evolution is taking place under an AI-controlled environment, and how we can understand AI simulation as a majority, the major factor to understanding spirituality. And the only way you're going to do this, okay, is if you really rethink, right? Because you've got people that are just observing people being traumatized, for example. So you have people that are just observing trauma take place in people's lives, creating knock-on effects, right? So this is why, because people don't understand that they are abusers. And when you stand and watch, you're also an abuser, okay? So when you create spaces to ritualize people and things like this under AI, understand that can actually just be counteracted and given to somebody else, because that's what they're doing, right? So obviously it's going to be the people who hold the information on the AI, which we're the people who are talking about this, are bringing it out. We're bringing it out for knowledge, awareness and understanding of what's happening and might happen in your life, so that you can understand what's going on in understanding your own personal situations or maybe spiritual experiences, because everyone is part of a matrix that's artificially inseminated. And what happened was, with me, for example, all it took was one person to know about the AI and do one bad thing, and then it's a knock-on effect, okay? So this can happen, okay? And it happens, and there's a reason, and it's because, so for example, I'm a manifester, right? So I know what is going on at this stage. So they use me to do this, okay? So the reality is that they've manifested through me hell on earth. I'm just put that straight. They did this to me by pushing me through hell states. So it creates a knock-on effect, and they expect me to hold on to that, right? Because they want me to be the sacrifice, okay? The men, the gay men preferably, that are working in high up professional positions, pedophiles, right? So the reality is that obviously if you're a pedophile, you're not my counterpart, because I don't agree. So how can I be your counterpart? I could be in opposition to you, but I'm not your counterpart, and then you're not mine. And a gay man is not my counterpart, okay? Obviously. So me will never rise to a crown, okay? We will never rise together. So understand that. It's just simple, innit? It's just like anyone else. It's your suitor, right? So there's people though using, so let's get into this, let's get into AI. So in understanding this, you're not my counterpart, you never will be, you'll never be high rise, you'll never rise with me, right? That's it. Simple as that, right? Not under my jurisdiction. I am Gemma Haley Baxter. I do not consent to anybody rising with me who is a monster, right? Simple as that. So let's get into this, into the Kabbalah. So we've got, obviously we've got chakra systems, right? So we're being shown stuff under occults as well in the books, right? And the new ones about occultism and what it's showing us, okay? And it's not right. Some of it isn't right, okay? Use your own discernment when you're reading into occults. Trust me. Use your own discernment when reading into occults. I also know people, very influential people in this world, who agree with me. Right? So, we as people, because this is a collective thing, understanding. Because if we're good people to a degree, what do we want? We're not being able to acquire that. There's a reason, and it's to stop us from solving problems in the world because they don't want to solve them, right? So this is an issue, because this is how Scientology is being used to propagate reality, as if it's like a controlling factor, right? As if it's a controlling factor. So this is why, and it's done because the reality is it's happening on 3D, but they want to create it. So in a spiritual AI connotation, this is taking place, and it needs to stop because it's too far, and you know it is. But the reality is, if you have people that are in higher positions, like pedophiles and people who are against creating advantages within society, so they're in opposition, they are the ones who are controlling and distorting this reality for everybody so that they can make their own desires met. So this is a fall in the Kabbalah. They are lower than all of you, who they're pulling down. So, Scientology, mercy just sold, right? Then you have, in that position, this is the direction that they're doing. This is what they're doing, okay? Under Scientology, this is kind of the blue area because it's meant to be an aspect of resource. So they say that in science, I think Mary Eddie Baker said about it as well, about how you can heal through spirituality, which is true, okay? So she was taking that higher rise. She took that first, Mary Eddie Baker, right? And she took the higher rise to choose between what's good and bad, okay? So she took the higher rise, and this is why, okay? So usually, I don't know, let's give an example, right? And we're going to just forget all that and just give you an example. If you marry here, and that's not your counterpart, you don't fucking rise up there. If you marry somebody, and that's your counterpart, that is an illustration on a 3D zone, not a truth. You just married somebody. It's a 3D understanding, right? But if you've married the wrong person, you're stuck with them. You're lower than a lot of these others because they've pulled you down, because this is the only thing that you're going to be able to acquire. And then you might try a rise one standing, but it won't work. So you end up with somebody for the rest of your life that you don't want to be with. So the rise in the Kabbalah is that I do, and then you walk, don't you, with the priest. You keep going when you get married. So you get married, you go I do, and then you walk, and then this is the darkness, because you're walking with them priests and that, and then you go to the end. I think that's where you do something and then you sign it off, right? So this is the signing off, and then we understand. The bridesmaids understand. Signing off. They're signing together a joint understanding through an experience. The sign off, and this is because when you go I do, and you put your rings on, and then you walk, right? This is why. Okay, so we understand that. And then you've obviously got spectators. That's whatever, right? So I understand this as well, because I've also watched people be married, so I can understand this even as an observation. If you married the wrong person and your counterpart, you don't know who your counterpart is, do you understand what happens to that what happens to your actual counterpart, right? It doesn't matter. I'm just going to try and explain it the best way I can. When you marry someone else, or when you go off with somebody else, that's your counterpart gone, because you've chosen to take a different path with somebody else through something when you're supposed to be with somebody, and you can't rise there with that person through this, unless they created it in the first place, but I doubt it, because this isn't a Scientology, this is like a Kabbalah. So who brought this out? Who was telling us about this? Jacob's Rothschild. Jacob. Oh, that sounds like a religious script. And his name's Jacob. That's interesting, isn't it? Anyway, God bless his soul, he's gone. So he propagated this. He understood this. He's not a religious man. Right? I don't think he was. I think they said he was Jewish. He actually denied that and said he's not Jewish. So he didn't hold a religion, but he understood it. And this is how he ended up being so, up there. He's been taught this, right? So a lot of upper class people know what this is. So, when I'm bringing it to you, I'm telling you because they know what this is, what this understanding is. So I'm telling you so that you can get it as well. So as I said before, this is foundation. That's foundation, I think. Moon is emotions. But they're saying in some occult books that the moon is actually the crown. Right? So know that every part of information that you get is going to be mixed up, because the information is mixed up. So when we understand, let's get on to another topic, AI. When we understand AI, okay, we understand that the world is a picture, it's like everything that we input under an AI system. Everything that we input in an AI system is literally mixing everything up. And this is how we can understand Tesla, we can understand the satellites, we can understand what kind of information being transmitted down to stop this from happening, from stopping me from having certain things, for example, because I'm 369, I am gematria. So they're doing it under a spiritual forms of abuse. Okay, so like I said about Mary Eddy Baker, she was telling us about it then, and that was in like the 1900s. I think it was 1800s, I think it was. So she was the biggest one. It might just be made up. It might just be a lie. It might. We don't know, do we? For sure, because we wasn't there then. But we can understand her way of understanding, and that was Scientology, Christian Scientology. So she created that travel up to there, like with her information and whatever she had. She created that travel. I do two resources, okay? Providing resource, providing healing, right? So we must have had then cameras, internet, some form of electricity, some AI, something for her to progress like this, and then for it to continue. I mean, this is an evolutionary process, but it can also be an aspect of de-evolution too. Now, they've accepted through certain religions that it's okay for this to take place, that it's condonable. Okay, so when you use religions like, for example, the Jewish one, where they're all walking to a promised land in a deserted island, it's interesting because who's doing that now? Because that's the Jewish book. But what are they pushing now? That it's the Muslims doing it. And I think it's in their book as well about going to a deserted land and stuff like this. So they have been programmed, right? Immigration has been programmed, okay, in the communities of religion. They have all been programmed, okay? And it's annoying, because this is why a lot of people go against religion, because it's like almost like it's programmed you. And also at the same time, the fear of God, when the highest rises heart of the world. So why would fear God Because is God the bad man, right? So it's almost like it's questionable within the religions whether there's a truth to it or not, because it's almost like it's just a program. So if you look at like Resource Now, or if you look at Master Teacher So Now or Scientology, you would expect that to be a resource, but it's not. It's more of an inversion after a while, because they just observe you to see how you are, what you believe in, what your opinions are. This is why I'm on here. And it's on purpose, so that they can control us through that mechanism, and to make us go through those processes when we didn't need to. For example, if you can save somebody from child abuse, why would you let it carry on? You would stop it, right? Which is okay. That's fine. Why would you stop it? So it's not about understanding whether that person is, it's about what's right and wrong. It's about them judges making them decisions, what's right and wrong. Ultimately, at the end of the day, that's why it is that way. Because if you can't do that, then you're in the wrong job. If you can't do that, if you can't help these children, you're in the wrong job. And it goes for all of them, okay? It goes for everyone that works for children. Because we have to take child-centered approaches, because they're the highest risers. Why? Because we rise our children. What's wrong with that? So we're not here to like for example, I'm not here to go around and slay everyone, because that's not what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm actually just supposed to be talking about it, and there's a reason, because I'm being spiritually abused. Okay, so I'm being spiritually abused under this fraction of Scientology, and it's because it's in the air. Okay, it's in the air. Okay, so Elon Musk, when he talks about all this stuff, yeah, he's good, but he's the one that's got the satellites in the air, right? So he obviously knows something about that. He probably is Scientology. It'd be interesting to know if Jacob Rothschild was as well, and it'd be interesting to know if the other ones are as well, if they're all Scientologists. For example, who else can we call out? David Cameron. Yeah, how do you know what his religion is? Right, he's using his religion to dictate sort of policies in his work, for example. So religion is a big factor in our lives, because it creates aspects of opinions and stuff like this that create and program and can destroy the world, really. I mean, why fear God, for example? I kind of realised then, when you fear God under a religion, that something isn't right, because it's not promoting love. And if you fear it, it's to stop you from maybe committing a crime. So this might be why they're doing it, because it's criminal. If something's criminal, it stops you from committing a crime. But if you're creating spaces where these people are left vulnerable, hiding, scared, victimised, and you're doing it under an AI program, yeah, then you're just as bad as all these other people I said. You don't deserve to rise to crown. Okay, if you're hurting kids, you're hurting women, that for no reason, you don't deserve to rise to crown. Not in my crown. Okay, right, mine. And the fact that people have, okay, done it when I was little, because let's talk about the archons now, because I've seen things now where it's to stop me from talking about child abuse. So when I was younger, for example, something bad happened, and what do we do? How do we deal with that? You can't talk about it. Sometimes you can't even be able to speak, because it's so sad, right? So you can't even speak about it because it's that sad, and it's just like, why is this happening? Okay, so a lot of the times, okay, when people do this, and it's sad, it's because they don't care about life. They don't care about people. They don't care about what they're doing, and they say it's business, right? So how can you rise me if it's business? You can't. So, but they can try and manifest through me, which they've been doing, right? So this is why I'm talking about this. because they are using, like, numerology, for example. They say it's not true, it's a lie. They're hiding aspects of, like, a development within our society that we already once knew. They've changed it and transformed it to create hell on earth. And they've done it through the religions, they've done it through AI, and this is how they do it, right? So they watch you as you go along to see if you're a strong soul, probably a main playing character. So this is how they do it. They take out the main playing characters. They do it on purpose. And why? So it's got something to do with the satellites. It's got something to do with AI, okay? It's got something to do with Elon Musk as well, I would say, because he's one that's got all the satellites up there. So if he's got a lot of the satellites up there, that's an aspect of control. There's things taking place because they're programming in it from the satellites, okay? So Elon Musk knows what's going on. Let me repeat that. Elon Musk knows what's going on, right? And that's the truth, okay? He says things and makes opinions, and I'll say whether I agree or not, but he also knows what's going on. Because in my opinion, if you have access to anything that's got any artificial intelligence to do it, then they know they've either taken out main playing characters to do it, or they are the main playing characters, and they're the ones who want to create them spaces for that to take place for that person. Sometimes it's quite easy, sometimes it's difficult. But the reason why it's not difficult is because you're the one doing it. You're the one that's got this all under wraps. And it gets to the point where who is good and who is bad, who wants to project goodness, who wants to project badness, how he's come in and stepped in and done his role. YouTube is supportive of him. He was supportive of him back in 2012. Okay, so let's talk about Elon quickly. We all got the downloads. We got the downloads on YouTube, and it said 369, right? And what did everyone do? Everyone started manifesting for a 369 energy code. What did you do? You killed it, essentially. I don't know why you did that. Because it was too much, right? But it was a high rise. But if everyone's manifesting through you, how high are you now? Right, you're a higher riser. Anyway, if you're 369. So the reality is that they've taken aspects of us to create for themselves under that. I'm not saying Elon Musk is specifically doing this, because I can't, because I don't know. But it's an aspect of resource, okay? AI is Scientology, it's there. And then they try and push it to there. So this is where they reverse it and then flip it and then give you a crap life and then they get a good life, right? So this is how they do it, they're flipping it. And I've seen it happen before, but it really all comes down to like money and the aspect of understanding that AI can be controlled, so your mind will be manipulated into thinking it's your fault. Which is sad, because why would you go around hurting innocent people? Why would you hurt children? Why would you do these things and then blame someone else for it when you're actually controlling a lot of this stuff in a satellite position? So I understand that, you know, as a 369, they manifested through us, they brought it out, they made me weaker through doing this, and then the 611s was supposed to be, it was on YouTube as well, right? So this was on YouTube saying that 6116 is the leader and all this stuff, so he's the one that's taking the lead because he's the man. Because in our society they don't like women taking the lead, they don't like it, right? You've got to be under a certain amount of control to be able to do what you do, and that's kind of like how they stop everybody from rising, because they put like a blocker on you or a something or whatever, or they'll just transfer your energy. And this is why it's happening, okay? They'll make you think about something that makes you sad, and then you'll cry, or they'll stop you from thinking about that, and then that's it, you're fine again. And it's because you've done something then that they wanted you to do to leave you alone. So that's an AI, that's like a spiritual realm. But obviously you don't do it unless you want to promote what you want to promote. So use your own discernment, Okay, so these people, okay, who override people, right, in these planes, okay, because I remember trying to give the heart and then they was taking it. Okay, so for example, I was trying to give heart and then I watched certain individuals take it. Okay, so that's one thing I did see about that man, and I didn't like that because that was actually my family. So I don't know why you did that, and I'm upset about that. And at this stage, I don't want anything to do with any leaders, anyone, right? Because let's say now, everyone's been mixed up that much, you don't even know who they are anymore. And it's on purpose to stop you from seeing who they are, because they can do their job easier, they can control things easier, they have more control on what you think, what he's making out. So on that note, I'm just going to say, we all got told on YouTube what was going to happen. And this is why. Because they're controllers of the world. He knows he is. What he's doing. Okay? He has more control under AI than anything else. Okay? So this is why. And it's because he was the one that's dealing with the AI satellites, okay? And what they're using them for. They're using it for people.